All right, welcome to episode 37 of Stream Roulette. Daniel Towns with Steph Broadbridge.
Hi, Daniel. And this week we watched The Mole.
We did.
Welcome to episode 37 of Stream Roulette. I'm Steph Broadbridge. I'm here with Daniel Towns. How are you, Daniel?
I'm good. Kind of. Been an interesting week.
Has it?
Oh, gig-wise, I suppose. Well, we went to Dubbo for starters.
Should we just say there's two dogs in here?
Okay, yeah, I should say. My dog is here and I'm also taking care of my neighbour's dog while they're on holiday.
And she's just stepped on my laptop and lost all the information I need for the podcast.
Oh, awesome. She's also a little bit ADHD and he's just pumped up for some reason. Oscar, come on, pass me that bag of treats up there.
Yeah.
There we go. Nothing but professional here.
It's wild.
So there you go. Look at that. She's a little psycho for food. But yeah, we went to Dubbo.
We did.
Which was a long drive.
Yes.
I can't believe it, but maps always, you add an hour on those regional ones. Like when it said 5 hours and 7 minutes,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's 6. But I didn't realise that the gig started at 7. Like I probably would have left at, I don't know, 11.
I mean,
not that much earlier.
it didn't start at 7.
No, a bit after.
They never do.
No, they never do, but you kind of want to be there by, I've driven home from that gig every time I've done it, except for this time.
Terrifying.
And you know what?
I wouldn't let him, by the way.
Well, Steph wasn't happy. And I understand why, because the drive down, I was fucking nodding off.
Yeah.
Like, we had to pull over on the side of the road so I could have a 5-minute power nap.
Yeah, it was terrifying. I thought he was going to kill me.
No, it wasn't that bad. I was in control, but, like, that's why I pulled over. Like, I know when I'm driving and it's like, oh, hang on, this is dangerous. Like, one time I was driving in Melbourne and I just pulled over, closed my eyes for 10 minutes, and then when I, opened them again, I was fine.
Okay.
Like, that's all it took.
But I don't know.
No, I know.
I'm just going off the information you're giving me, which is I shouldn't be driving.
And my eyes are half closed.
Yeah.
But we got there.
We did, and we're still alive.
We got there and we did the show, and the hotel was nice. Like, it was good to stay.
Yeah, it was very nice. She was so sweet, that lady that organised it.
She's lovely.
She made you feel just really valued.
It's a nice room. That was that box we got at the end of the night.
Yes.
Just a box of assortment of crackers and cheeses and grapes
and stuff.
Yeah, it was nice. It was a nice midnight snack.
It was.
Like, it's different to eating, a packet of chips or some chocolate.
Or the motel bickies.
Yeah, something dodgy like that. But yeah, and then that night I had a gig.
On the Friday?
Yeah, the day we got back, and it was an early start, so I wasn't home long. I planned on coming home and getting a shitload of work done, and I came home, looked at my computer for half an hour, and then fell asleep, like pretty much till it was time to go to the gig. But I was on in the first half. So I started at 6, I was home by 7, but it was and I found out on the day. So you'll know who it was for by what the gig was, but it was for the last text message was, oh, by the way, this is a council thing. It has to be clean. It's a bunch of carers and the people that they care for. And like, as soon as you got there, it was like, what am I doing here? Like, why? This is like, I'm not going to get to do comedy here. I'm going to get to try to do comedy here.
Yeah.
But like, and it's not being clean or anything, but like half of them weren't. Like, they're not listening. I was trying to riff.
Yeah.
I usually do well at seniors gigs, but this wasn't seniors. This was people with
special needs.
Yeah. And not special needs, but couldn't walk, or there was someone with a walking stick, or a deaf person that. Essentially, it's
special needs.
Essentially, it's a bunch of old people with family that don't care about them. Like, that's what I felt like when I was there. It was like doing a bloody charity gig for, I did a gig once.
If anyone needs comedy, it's them, surely.
Well, you'd think, but I did a gig once at, where was it? It was in Springwood, and it was put on by the sports club there, but it was a thing they put on for their VIP members.
Sorry, I'm laughing at the dog.
It's a thing, she's all over me. It's a thing they put on for their VIP members. And the VIP members obviously are the people that spend the most money there, which is the pokie players.
Yeah.
And like, I asked that on stage. I was like, so are you the gamblers? And they're like, yeah. And in my head, I'm like, oh, that's why you're all a bit miserable. Like, the club just puts it on to get them in there. you know, hey, we've got that, like they get 4 free VIP events a year because they're club VIPs, you know.
Yeah.
So they get the club pays for a comedy show or something that only they can go to. But it's just a thing to get them into the club.
But it's a terrible gig for us.
Oh, it was awful.
Yeah.
Because they're all miserable.
Yeah.
Like, they're all fucking miserable. Yeah, like it was really bad. But the one on with all the, like, some of the riffing I tried, I don't even know if it, like, I know why it didn't work, but it was funny to me because there was enough, like, different modes of transportation for some of the people in there. And, like, I was talking to one of the guys and, like, he had a walking stick and I was just like, oh, you know, what's up? And he's like, oh, one of my legs doesn't work properly.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And I'm like, oh, fair enough. And there was someone else with a walking stick. And I was like, when you're out, like, with your walking stick and you see someone else, like, with a walking stick, do you, like, judge, like, their stick? Like, you know what I mean? Do you look at them and like, oh, that's only wood. Like, mine's graphite. You know? And to the people in the wheelchairs, it's like, oh, yeah, oh, you can't even afford a motor, huh? Or something like that. But, and there is judgment, but yeah, they weren't very like, oh, yeah, we do that. I said, come on, everybody judges. And then they started laughing. So I took it as a yes. It was probably just badly worded. But the gig itself was like, you know, as soon as we got there, like Woodland.
It's not a gig.
It wasn't a gig. As soon as we got there,
It's a community service that should be paid by the council and it should be very, very expensive.
Woodland was there. Like, he got there pretty early, and so did Brett. And Brett Nichols was the host. And, like, he was just talking about the show. And before I called first, faster than anyone's ever called, like, shotgun in their life. Like, as soon as it was, like... And we knew it was going to start on time because they're elderly and they probably had to get home.
Yeah.
You know it's going to be fucked up when they go, oh, we're just waiting for one more bus load of people.
Yeah, at least it was at night time. Those ones are usually, like, in the morning.
Well, it still wasn't daytime. I did a daytime once at a retirement village.
No, what time did it start? 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, comedy clubs start at 6.
Yeah, but they're usually dark. You could see outside here, like it was visibly daylight.
Yeah.
But I've done I think it was at 11 or 12 o'clock gig at a like a retirement village. And it was fine. Like, we all thought it was going to be fucking weird, but like I was just friendly and did clean jokes and like old puns and my cheesy stuff that they'd like. Yeah.
They love jokes.
And Tom Walker was on.
I do songs. They like songs.
Yeah, Tom Walker was on, and he was just like weird for him. Same with Demi. Like, you know what I mean? Everyone just did their thing and they loved it. And it was so weird because we were there going, this is so weird. We're just literally in, like, it's the bingo room. At other times, it's, you know, they probably have their dancers there. They'd have wakes there when, you know.
They're just happy for distractions.
Yeah, totally.
Well, I did a gig on Friday night in the comedy club at the Cross. And you could have played bag gig bingo with this crowd.
Oh, what do you mean? Like,
well, like, anything that could go wrong
did go wrong.
Pretty much. We had a girl throw up.
Yeah, right.
Twice.
And that's a small room to have a vom in.
Yep. We had another guy heckle racials, like, do the, like, Chinese accent to Harry Jun at Harry Jun.
Yeah, right.
Like, mimicking him in an Asian accent.
Yeah, Harry doesn't even sound Asian.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not that would make it better.
No, I know, but it's like, why is that even crossing that guy's
so
mind?
Uncomfortable. We had people that were so drunk that, like, Chris Radburn was MC. Thank God. That was pretty much the only reason that the show worked. And
he would have held his scale.
When people were like, this woman would stand up when she had something to say, and he had to keep saying, like, sit down.
Really?
Please sit down. We don't want you to say something.
That's a small room for someone to stand up
tiny.
in as well.
It was a disaster. And then last night, same gig, different crowd, someone else threw up.
Really?
Yes.
So for fuck's sake.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've been there to that club in King's Cross.
But that's a weekender crowd. Like,
yeah, but how did there's no way they could have got that drunk at that bar.
Well, that's true. Yeah, because
it's one bartender for the whole crowd.
But it is King's Cross.
Yeah, but they were wasted. Their first group was from Port Macquarie, and they'd obviously been on it all day.
Yeah, right.
And then last night there was a hens night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like wild.
Yeah, that's fucking
But
brutal.
so fun. I love gigs like that.
Yeah.
Because it's dark and everyone's really drunk and you just got the game's just keeping their attention.
I like gigs like that either when I'm MC or if I see it happen before me, because I can kind of formulate a plan of how I'm going to handle it.
Yeah, you wouldn't want it to have turned up late for that one.
Yeah.
Although, in saying that, Ben Dasso was headlining, and I think the fact he hadn't seen any of the chaos probably helped.
Oh, sometimes it
because by
can.
that stage, obviously the trouble's kicked out,
Yeah.
and so he just has the rest of the crowd. So if he just treats it like a normal gig, then
Yeah, right. That's good.
it's a great option. But it was pretty wild weekend.
Yeah, right.
Should we get into the show?
Yeah, let's do it. The mole.
The mole. Okay, I feel like just
Most people would know what it is.
yeah, I mean, I will read the blurb, but I'll also just say I think spoilers for this one.
Yeah, sure.
I think we have to. It's
Yeah.
all over the news anyway, but
Spoiler away,
well,
yeah.
I say news. It's all over entertainment news.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we could talk about it without
Yeah.
discussing the ending. So, spoilers, guys. If you haven't seen it and you're listening, don't listen anymore. The Mole. 12 crafty competitors gather in Australia's ancient Daintree rainforest to begin the game with no idea which of them might be plotting sabotage.
Yeah.
So, 12 people off the street. One of them's the Mole. The idea is they've got to make as much money as they can.
12 people off Instagram.
Yes. Off Instagram. They're going to make as much money as they can.
Yeah.
With one person secretly trying to reduce the amount of money that they
Yeah.
can
Yeah,
make.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
at the end, the person's left standing gets the pot of money.
Yeah.
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 How much did you watch?
I think like 6 episodes?
Oh, so you haven't seen the end?
No.
Oh, okay.
And what about you? You watched it all.
Well, I needed to know who.
Who the mole was.
I needed to make sure I was right.
And were you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It was it
It's who you think it
the
is.
person I think it is?
I don't
Yeah.
know. Who do you think it is?
Well, I think it's she's got dark curly hair.
No, it's the other one
What, the other one with dark curly hair?
with dark straight hair.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay, interesting. Because there was a few things that, yeah, the other one, that sounds so bad. Yeah, look, I didn't love the show.
You're talking about Joy and is it Cassie? Cassie? Cassie, yeah.
I didn't love it. Like,
Oh.
I like the idea of it.
Yeah.
Like, I think as a sociological experiment, it's a fantastic idea. It's actually based on a video game, which was based on a board game, quite interestingly enough. The video game, you've probably heard of it, even though you're not a gamer. Among Us, have you heard of that?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was based on a board game, I think, called The Imposter.
Yeah.
Or something, and it's essentially exactly the same thing. Like, there's a team full of people, like, there's a bunch of people. One person is in Among Us, one person is the imposter, and, like, you got to repair a spaceship, but it's one person's job to kind of, like, sabotage it. But but they can act like they're helping, or, you know what I mean, and everyone else has to figure out who the imposter is. So, yeah, like, I really like the idea of it, and as a thing, it's definitely addictive. But I don't know, I guess some of the characters I just didn't...
Oh, I loved them.
Yeah? Yeah, that's okay.
I will say that the first version of this reality TV show was actually in Belgium.
And wasn't it a major success, the first season?
In which country? What are you talking about?
Like, of the show? Like,
Which one? The Belgium one?
Yeah. Like,
The Belgium one's still going. It's been going
'cause, I mean,
since 1998.
They've done versions. They've done versions everywhere, haven't they?
Yeah, I was just saying that was the
Oh,
first one.
Chill the fuck out, man. Come here. Sit on my lap. There you go. Yeah, right. Because there was an Australian version, though, wasn't there?
Oh, there's always an Australian version.
Yeah, because this wasn't an Aussie version. This was just a version that, like, was in Australia.
It was American cast.
Yeah.
The producers and everyone were American, and it was set in Australia.
The Daintree looked good.
It did, yeah.
Oh, have you been there?
No,
It's quite a nice place.
yeah, I'm sure.
Would you recommend the show then?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. I mean,
I'd
I assume if you're still listening to this, then
Yeah.
you've already seen it.
Yeah, well, that's true. I definitely recommend it for the sociological experiment and the psychological experiment of it. Like, kind of like Big Brother. It's got that level of interest to me, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like,
but I mean, this show's existed for a while, so I guess it would just be like this particular version of it, which is because this was like around decades ago.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I like the idea when I was thinking about, this is just based on a video game. I liked the idea of trying to come up with other TV shows that you could base off things that were either board games or video games. I mean, and maybe sure, like, some do exist, but like, say you had like a Call of Duty type game in IKEA.
Yeah.
You know, like, which is a first-person shooter. So you got two teams of 4, You know, maybe not shooter because people would have to die, right? But like, let's say paintball.
I was just saying, you're just describing indoor paintball.
Okay, so yeah, all right, so paintball. So say it was paintball, but with consequences and prize money and all that kind of stuff, and you had a team of, you could pick a team of 4 people. Like, who would you have on your team?
No one. I don't understand what we're doing.
We're playing, it's a TV show.
I wouldn't be in that TV show.
You're in it. Hypothetically, you're in it.
Okay, then I'm hiding behind a rock.
Yeah, but who's on your team?
Nobody.
Really? Then you don't understand.
I don't want to do any of it.
You don't understand the rules at all. Why not?
Because I don't want to get shot at.
Well, not even with a paintball.
It hurts.
This is a hypothetical situation about
It
something.
hypothetically hurts.
All right, so say you had a friend. Who would you put on their team? Or who would you put on a team then, and why?
Are we talking about people we know or celebrities?
Yeah, people
like, what
we
is
know.
the parameters?
People we know.
But why is that? People don't know people we know.
Well, then celebrities. I don't give a fuck. I'm just trying to think of an idea for a TV show based on the concept of a video game.
Okay.
And I think it would be quite funny.
Who did you want?
Locking people in a place like IKEA.
Yeah.
Starting both on different ends and giving them either guns or paintball guns, so it's at least fair. And just seeing who comes out on top.
Yeah. Who would you have?
Who would I have on my team?
Yeah.
Out of people that we know?
Sure.
I'd probably take Heggie because he's like childish and he's an adult as well. Like he's a man. You know what I mean? I'd take I don't know. I'll tell you what. I'd put Ronnie Cheng on the other team.
Why?
Because he's super competitive and like he'd hate to lose. You know what I mean? And
well, why don't you want him on your team then?
Why?
Yeah.
Because he's super competitive, and like I am too. And you don't need 2 people that are super competitive.
Oh, okay. So you'd be the Ronnie of your group.
No, I wouldn't be the Ronnie, but like I like knowing that there's someone on the other team that like has that level of like, oh no, this is going my way. You know, like yeah. Who else would I put on that team? Like, let's just fill it out with the Melbourne-Sydney basketball game we played in Melbourne that year. I'd have fuck. I don't know. No, I don't know.
I wasn't there.
I honestly don't know. But yeah, that there'd be three other players. Let's cast this thing with comedians. I mean, you could make the other team lame. You know what I mean? You could go, all right, let's just put on people that can't run and don't have an athletic bone in their body, but where's the fun in that? Well, what would you base a TV show on if you could base it on something that already existed, which they all do anyway? What's your favourite board game?
I don't play Scrabble.
Okay, how would you turn that into a TV show?
I don't think I would.
Oh.
But I mean, there was definitely elements of Scrabble in this because there was a lot of like puzzle solving.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
But is Scrabble puzzle solving or is Scrabble
What's
just
problem solving?
Forming words?
Well, it's forming words with pieces of thing that you have there.
I suck at Scrabble. I just suck at word games, which is quite weird because I make a living out of.
Well, like the bank heist one in this show, they had sort of puzzle solving. It was very like and then they had the jail escape. Did you see that one? The jailbreak.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was like an escape room type thing. So.
Escape rooms. Have you ever done one of those?
No, God no.
Would you?
No.
You don't think you could work with a team of other people to try and?
I don't like being that far away from a bathroom.
Well, okay. What if you're in an escape room? There was a bathroom in there.
Then there's people too close to where I'm going to the bathroom.
And you were the only person in there. You had no extra time, but you had to figure it out on your own.
Yeah.
Would you do it?
Like maybe for money, I wouldn't enjoy it.
Okay. You wouldn't put yourself out of your comfort zone?
I would, but if there was like a reason, like for money or something.
Yeah, right. I got offered one that was free. It was before a gig once up at Newcastle. Someone contacted me and they'd started one of those fucking salty water pod things, you know, where you go and lie in it.
What's that?
It's all dark. It's a sensory deprivation.
Oh,
thing,
right.
It's like,
yeah.
It's full of salt water and warm, and you just, lie in it and you kind of float because it's so salty, but it's dark and it's quiet. And
is that your escape room?
No, well, initially I was like, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, that sounds like great fun. I'd love to see what that's like. And then as the day got closer, I was like, fuck that. I'm not leaving 2 hours earlier.
Oh, you didn't do it?
No, I'd getting wet before the gig, having to take a you know what I mean? Like all this other stuff came into it, and it's like, no.
I'd be curious to do that.
I would too, but not before a gig.
Scary though.
You know, like I was curious at one stage about a colonoscopy. Colonoscopy? What's the one? And then, like, where they fucking empty you out. What's that one?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
What's it? No. What's it called? An enema thing, like a fucking
Okay.
a colonic. That's
Yeah.
it. I remember, and I was on a road show, and like we were like, and someone was raving about them, like how good they feel about them, and afterwards, and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, all right, and like just without thinking, I just booked one in, and then just online.
What's the timeline for something like that?
What do you mean? Just to be able to get one?
No, like how long does it take afterwards
To what?
for it to not still be leaking?
Oh, I'm sure the leakage would probably stop in about half an hour. But anyway, I got to the point where after that, like we talked about it some more, and then I got to the hotel and I did a little bit of research on it, and there's no scientific evidence that backs it up that there's anything. And then I was just like, well, how do you know it's not meant to be there? And I just cancelled it.
How do you what?
Well, I said it in the car, like someone that was there still finds it funny because I was just like, well, how do you know it's not meant to be there?
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? Like whatever it is, the carrot or the corn or, whatever it is.
Well, don't they say that? Like you need
Yeah.
you're not supposed to do that.
I mean,
I think they found it was unhealthy.
this is disgusting, but my curiosity about the whole thing would be more the whole thing as opposed to the feeling afterwards. Like I'd be keen to see what happened. You know what I mean? I know that's
I don't want to.
I know that's gross. Do you watch when you give them blood?
So I haven't given blood.
You've never given blood.
No.
Why not?
Well, lots of reasons.
Okay,
But
fair enough.
I have low blood pressure.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, all right. I used to
I have a
give
tattoo.
I used to give blood all the time.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. I look.
I don't even know my blood type.
So I don't know one. Same as when I like get a needle, I always watch. You know, some people don't watch syringes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm not.
You're
yeah.
not bothered by it.
No, not at all.
Maybe you missed your calling. You should have been a nurse.
I should have been a junkie.
Hey, there's still
I'm
time.
always pumping that vein up. You know, it's like, have you got a thing, or do you want me to use a belt?
Which characters did you like in the show, or which ones didn't you like?
I didn't like really any of them, to be honest with you.
None of them?
Oh, look, some
You
of them.
didn't find them interesting?
Yeah, look, they were all interesting, definitely.
What about the gay guy, Greg?
Yeah.
He was great.
Yeah, he was good. Yeah, he was probably one of the better ones.
I thought
I'd
the
say.
characters really carried this.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that just the idea of it carried it.
No,
Like it was.
Yeah.
I think it was very well produced. It was very big budget. I think something like that would be just as interesting just in a fucking house, like the video game Among Us. If you had 12 people in a house that was like, say, 2-3 stories with a lot of bedrooms and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the goal was to do something, I don't know, like build a tree house out the back, and they all had to work together, and one person was the imposter, so it didn't get finished on time. Like, I'd find that more interesting than something so big budget that was.
Well,
you know
I
what
think
I mean?
the tourism element of it is quite important.
No, but they could have done that tree house in the Daintree. That'd be amazing.
Right. But
No,
I
you
mean,
know what I
why
mean,
is
like-
that different to what they did?
What's that?
Why is that different to what they did?
Well, it's just because it's always nice hotels, and it's like the production value is always excellent. Like, not that there's anything wrong with that, but like I think it
Had a
like,
big budget.
I just think, a smaller scale version of it would be a lot more interesting, especially because people are in a more confined space. You know, you can't walk off if you're all stuck in the same house.
I will say that I don't think Sydney came out very well in this show. Did you get up to the one where they're in Sydney?
Yeah.
With the pigeons?
Yeah, I felt like they were very stupid ideas what they did, and I thought that.
I don't know if it's stupid. I mean, I wouldn't say it was stupid. It was a clever. I liked the idea of the pigeon and the pizza place, but I'm like, it was a pretty weird take on, like, considering that they spent a bunch of time in Queensland.
Yeah.
And then in Sydney, it's just like, yeah, there's lots of pigeons.
I felt like they were just trying to get something out of their budget. Enough people in Queensland probably said to them, if you're going to go anywhere else, go to Sydney. And they probably figured out a shoot to do in Sydney for a couple of days.
Couldn't they have done it in the Opera House or something, or somewhere like kind of iconic, the Harbour Bridge? They could have done a bridge climb.
They probably did that at touristy. They didn't want to take cameras up there.
What do you mean?
Well, you know, if they're working up there, it's different. You know what it's like. If you're working somewhere, you don't see it.
I know, but if like they didn't really do much with Sydney,
Yeah, no.
considering it's considered one of the most beautiful cities in the world.
But whoever does, like, everything's always hidden because it is so iconic. And then, like, unless it is an Australian movie, but anything American where they shoot stuff in Sydney, like, you never see anything where you go, fuck, that's Sydney. Like, that's George Street, or that's that side alley off.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Clarence
saying.
Street.
It was a shame they didn't utilise it more.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah.
They should, same as Melbourne. Melbourne's a good CBD. But I feel what would let it down is it would need to be...
But Sydney's iconic visually, I mean.
Yeah. Look, if I saw something, I'd want it to be a massive, mega, like, Hollywood production like The Matrix was. Mm-hmm. But clearly set in Sydney, not just fucking set in Sydney and you don't know it. But like shit like, like Spider-Man type shit where the fucking Harbour Bridge goes down and...
Yeah.
You know, like landmarks, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
All that stuff
Not
kind of happens.
pigeons and pizza.
Yeah, leave Uluru alone, but...
And like bird droppings and...
Yeah. All right. Well,
what about Will? What did you think of him?
yeah, he was all right.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he was psychotic.
Yeah, well, that's what I kind of liked about him.
That guy, he was so controlling.
But you need people like that in those shows.
Well, he won.
Yeah, well, there you go. And casting those shows would be so fascinating. Like I'm sure they have psychologists and involved in the casting process. They'd have to.
Well, I looked up this guy on Instagram.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear some of his Instagram quotes?
Sure.
Under his pictures of him with long hair looking longingly into the camera lens.
Is one live, love, laugh?
It's like pretty much. They say anything possible. You got to dream like you never seen obstacles.
Jesus Christ.
What else have we got? The greatest self is a peaceful smile that always sees the world smiling back.
That's not bad. I think my favourite ever Instagram quote was, I need a room of mirrors so I can surround myself with winners.
Who was that?
Kanye West. Of course it was. But what a great quote.
That's great.
Look, without saying who it happened to, but I did tell you this the other day. I would like to share that the best heckle that I told you the other day. This happened to someone. Someone told me they got heckled with, "You need new material." And the comedian said, "Oh, have you seen me before?" And they said, "No." I thought that was so funny. Lola, come here, come on.
She's drawn blood.
No, she hasn't. She's just scratched you a little bit, hey? You little psychopath.
Oh, okay. I'm fine then.
Yeah, it's just a scratch. Oh, come on. You need to you go to a park or something when you're putting on a jumper.
Yeah, I don't want to get through my skin.
She's going to, she won't do that. She'll just start chewing your cardigan.
It's fine. That doesn't hurt.
So what's next week's show? What are we doing next week? What was that one called again?
Next week.
That one sounded interesting.
Next week we're doing another reality cooking show called Nailed It.
Nailed It, that's it. For some reason I was thinking Naked, but I don't know why. Okay, yes, that sounds good. What's that about?
It's a bunch of amateur bakers attempt to make really, really difficult cakes in stupidly short amount of time, and it's really fun. I've seen like one episode, so I'm excited to watch the new season that just came out.
Oh, all right, cool. Yeah, I'm keen to check that out.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
All right. See you next time.
Bye.